Hey, it's your boy Freshly Fletch, and I'm back with another video. Today, I want to go into a great video with you guys on the guild hall. I'm going over the guild shop, the guild workshop, everything that has to do with it. Guild workshop isn't a thing, but it doesn't matter. If you like the style of videos, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. If you want to see more videos like this in the future, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the video. I really wanted to talk to you guys about the guild hall. Now, this is some really interesting content with some great rewards that I think will benefit anyone's account, no matter your rank or level. So the first thing, in order to access the guild hall, you got to be in a guild. In order to join a guild, if you go down here and you click this little guild button, I don't have an example right now, but basically it'll pop up some options and stuff, and it'll let you select the guild here. I'll see if I can get a screenshot for that. But regardless, once you get into a guild, this is what you're going to have access to. I'm going to go through these mainly in order, but I'm going to hop around a little bit and probably save the shop for last, because it's the most complicated or intrinsic part of the guild shop. So we'll kind of get to that, towards the end. But yeah, so this is the guild. The first thing I'm going to do, which I already did, claim your daily reward. You get your rewards based on the amount of people that check in. So you click this check in reward, and it'll kind of show you what you're eligible for. The crescents here, or these brave crests, are to purchase things in a guild shop. This is your normal gold, and then this is a special guild currency called honor coin. That's basically for guild masters, so all you have to really worry about is trying to help your guild accumulate it, and the guild master is going to worry about how it's going to be spent. Record here just kind of shows, some good activity, the activity from your guild, how much gold was donated, proof of courage, all this good stuff can be found here. It also shows you your check-ins. The more, remember from the previous screen, the more check-ins you get, the more important, not more important, wow, the more resources you wind up actually receiving. So very important to do those check-ins. There's also some other activities here, other statistics here, activity, guild war, and world boss, which we'll get into that in a little bit. So after you claim your daily reward, you want to go ahead and click the Battlefield button if it's lit up. These are going to be your options here in Battlefield. One is going to be Ancient Inheritance, which is a seasonal game mode, which comes around every 3 months, 2 months, or something like that. But when it does come around, you have the option of getting some really good gear. I'll show you some examples of the gear just for this season. I think I bought one of them already, but unfortunately the set does change. It's not always going to be a tack set. In this case, this is a tack set, which is not one of the more sought after sets. So I still recommend to get it, right? I mean, if you look, it's all perfect rolled stats. They rolled even higher than they would be if they were 85 gear, and it starts at equipment score 42, which is unheard of. So I would still recommend just picking these up, maybe throwing it on some PvE units, or if you're new starting out, put it on some of your good units. It might be an upgrade for you, I don't know. You could also get Mologoras, modification chests, covenant bookmarks, and oh, here's the other piece down here. And those would be the things you're gonna go for first. And then if you have any extra, grab these artifact charms. Like, they are actually a little bit difficult to obtain. Like, surprisingly, well, I said a little bit. They're difficult to obtain. So just grab those. And then this one down here, you can buy an unlimited amount. So that's pretty cool too. If you wind up, like, farming Ancient Inheritance and getting everything, you can just buy all these lesser artifact charms, because you're gonna need them. You're gonna need a lot of these things in the long run. But that's pretty much it for Ancient Inheritance. I'm not gonna really go over the game mode, but I'll make a separate guide on that some other time. But right now there's a lot of good guides. If you want to look up Tristan Wolf, he's actually coming out with a series now with his day-to-day progression on Ancient Inheritance. So I think that you'll really benefit from that video. I'll see if I can link it in the description as well. There's other rewards here. I'm not going to go too deep into it. Like I said, it's not a full guide on it, but here are some other rewards that you might be able to claim, the currency and things like that. So getting back on track here, Ancient Inheritance is the first thing here. Now you have your Guild War. Guild War isn't available right now, but it's going to be the main way that you're going to get mystics. Once you perform well in Guild Wars, you actually wind up getting a mystic reward, I think the next day that you log in. depending on your performance, right? Mystics are very hard to get, so you really want to make sure that you're doing these guild wars because it's very important to be able to pull on those ML units. And eventually, especially if you plan on doing PvP in the future, those ML units are going to be super, super crucial, like important. But for I'll just give you a quick gist of it. You can go here to choose your team formation. This is going to be your defense team when other players try to attack you. As you can see, this is my left team for round 1 and my right team for round 2. You can do an auto assign if you are not really confident in your ability to make a defense team. It'll just automatically pick your highest geared units. And if you're really just starting out, maybe that's what you want to do until you start getting a more diverse unit pool. Eventually, once you have enough units, you're going to want to start creating creative and maybe meta defenses. It doesn't necessarily have to be meta, but it does have to be difficult to attack if you want to perform well in this game mode. On a good day, on a different day, you may be able to do attacks. Unfortunately, I can't do attacks this day, but I can show you what it looks like. Hopefully, I'll put something on the screen. If I don't, when you log in on a Monday, Wednesday, or Friday, you'll have the opportunity to attack. So just go ahead and click that button. It'll be somewhere around here where that update button is. The next thing on the list, let's continue in Battlefield. World Boss. World Boss, you know, I can't remember what level you have to be to unlock this content. I actually need to go look into that. But eventually you'll be able to start doing World Boss once it unlocks for you. Once it does, this is also something that's pretty important to do. And it doesn't take nothing more than just a few clicks. So if you go ahead and do your World Boss, you hit ready. Oh, here's some of the rewards here. You have equipment conversion gem chest, and then you also have the selection chest as well. So that can be very useful. Those are good for getting like red gear. So it's actually pretty important there. You can also select what supporters that you're going to use. Basically, in World Boss, and if I can show you, I'm not going to go through the whole thing because it's not a full guide, but basically, you'll go here and you'll select your team. You can select supporters as well. Your team's going to consist of what seems to be 12 units plus 4 supporters. That's 16 total units, 4 of them being supporters. And here is another place that I'll also use the auto assign button because it makes it so that I don't have to pick, you know, it'll pick the best things for me. You see that there's different rewards you can get. I mean, you can get additional bonus rewards based on your team compositions, and yeah, that's kind of hard to pan out in your mind sometimes. So I just hit that auto assign button. You can do it twice per day, 20 energy each time, and at the end you wind up getting even more rewards, which can be gold, sometimes gear. Also, you may wind up getting those mod gems, not the mod gems, but the ones that allow you to craft gear. I'll see if I can show you an example really quick. So it would be something like, yeah, these things here. You might wind up getting that, which can also be just like a free piece of gear. So it's very useful to do, and it also is going to build up your contribution reward. And I believe it contributes to your weekly, but I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, so that's going to be World Boss. So next is Aid. So Aid is basically helping out your fellow guild members. What that does is, let's say this person here who needs, this is an example, he needs Mana Drake Claws. So you go ahead and hit that support 2 button. If you have Mana Drake Claws, you actually give it to that person. It's not necessarily a trade because you're not getting anything in return, but you are helping out someone in your guild. There is a donation limit that you can use. It is, I mean, you can get, which is and you get these crests every time. So you'll see that I got 30 crests for that. So I'm at 30 out of 200 for my donation limit. Same thing, so I can support this person as well, get another 30, and I can keep doing that until I get 200 crests per day. Crests are going to be important because, well, I'll show you, but in the guild shop, that's really where you're going to be using your crests. And we'll get into that in a little bit. Also, you may want to request aid as well. So the meta, per se, is to utilize the Mana Drake Claws. So that's what everyone's been doing. That way it's something that's easily obtainable and that we can just trade between each other. So every guild member would request Mana Drake Claws, we'd give it to that person would give it to someone else who's also requesting Mana Drake Claws. It's just like an unspoken agreement in mid to higher level guilds on a way that everyone agreed on as far as to use the aid system. But I mean, let's say you're short 1 catalyst, right? You're short 1 catalyst or 2 catalysts. You could feel free to do the catalyst section as well, but according to the meta, you're really trolling if you don't do the Mana Drake Claws. Anyway, we'll get out of that. I am going to request this. All right, that's pretty much there for aid. Sorry about that. That's pretty much it for aid. So the next thing is donate. You can donate gold, and you can also donate proof of courage. Each will give you one of these currencies respectively. I didn't get into the proof of courage. Proof of courage is a secondary, maybe even more of a primary guild currency, and these are the two guild currencies that you're going to be using for the shop. We'll get into the shop shortly, just maybe one section before that. So when you donate, you go ahead and you get your 50. This does not go to your aid limit as well. The aid limit for donations is specifically for aid. The one for donate is completely different. You can do 50k a day. That's it. Your proof of courage, you get these from, I think you get them from World Boss, and you can also get them from those urgent missions. That's what I was thinking. You get them from urgent missions as well. I don't do urgent missions very often, so I don't always have this maxed out, but when I do have it, I always click that donate button. These commander armbands are maybe the most important currency in the guild shop, and I'll show you why. So I'm gonna go straight into the member shop here. In the member shop, there is a lot of things that you are going to want to spend your currency on. This shop is extremely valuable, and the items, well, more specifically, the items that you can obtain from the shop. First, I'm just going to go down the list for the most part. The first things you're going to see are artifacts. Artifacts, you put these in your hero's artifacts slot in order to increase their power level. And these are some of the most strongest sought after or used, maybe I should say used, not necessarily sought after because you can get them from here, but they are some of the strongest artifacts in the game. I'm going to go over some of the really good ones. I'm not going to do every single one, but I do want to point these out because they are very notable. For one, Proof of Valor. This is the premier artifact for giving a unit its own defense on itself. Damage mitigation for itself. It's very widely used on like APOC Ravi, but can also be used on like anything that you want to survive longer. So like you have a Lionheart Sirmia that's a little bit squishy, boom, throw on Proof of Valor. APOC Ravi, throw on Proof of Valor. I think I said APOC. Rimuru, throw on Proof of Valor. This is just all around so good. And I'm not sure if you read the effect yet, but basically it makes your unit tanky, extremely tanky at the beginning, especially when you enhance it and limit break it. Extremely tanky, and then as the battle goes on and the unit starts to get hit, the effect wears down little by little. Because we have a lot, this artifact is great, but I can't go over it too much for you guys, just because we have a lot of things to cover this video and it's already getting long. So let's go ahead and just move on. The next one is Warhorn. This is a very important artifact. Specifically, there's one unit that you always want to put this on, which is going to be Mediator Queric. He's very strong with this artifact. Even though he can use other ones, this has been best in slot for a long time. You're also going to use this in PvE as well. It's just a good all-around artifact. Some people run it on their Conqueror Liliuses. It's very versatile as well. Shoot, I run it in my one-shot team sometime because not only does it give you increased combat readiness every 3 opponents' turns, but in addition, it also increases the attack of everyone else on your team. So that's a very offensive artifact, but if you use it on like Handguy, it can also become defensive. So the versatility in there is amazing. The last artifact I really want to touch base on is Bastion of Hope. Bastion of Hope is a superstar artifact. It mainly focuses on effect resistance. So remember how we spoke about Proof of Valor and how that makes your units tankier, like from physical damage? Well, Bastion of Hope is making them more resistant to debuffs, which debuffs are very powerful in this game. So you throw this on certain units and they are not getting touched by debuffs unless it ignores the effect resistance. At plus 15, this thing already gives like 47 or something like that, 0.5 effect resistance to the caster, and then an additional effect resistance boost to the cast. I think it applies to the caster, I'm not sure, but definitely to the rest of the team. So really, if you're trying not to get debuffed, this is the artifact for you. Anyway, those are the 3 ones I would highly recommend. Now, you'll notice that they all cost the commander armbands. These are artifacts that you most likely will be getting on your account eventually, especially if you want to do PvP. The commander armbands are kind of hard to farm, meaning that it will take you a little bit longer than the Brave Crest. So just be selective with those commander armbands. You may actually want to start saving them up for the artifacts first before you buy other things from the shop, but that's just my opinion. Moving on, so the next section here gives you some elemental summons. Well, these are pretty good. They will not guarantee you a 5-star, but guarantee I think a 4 or a 5-star. I don't exactly remember what the rates are. Something like 70-30. But still could be useful. If you need 4 stars, you need 5 stars, could be useful. The only problem is that they cost the commander armbands, and you really are gonna want to prioritize these over these for sure. So maybe if you already have the artifacts that you want, then you can start buying these instead. I don't really recommend it unless you already have some from another source, and let's say you're short. So in order to summon a unit with one of these currencies, you need 5, right? So let's say you only have 4. If you only have 4 and you want to take the risk, you could buy one for that month. And I don't see that as being a waste. You know, that could be a really strong investment, and it could turn out really good for you. So that's the one caveat to that. You get some catalysts as well. The catalyst chests, these are random catalysts. You don't really know if you're going to need them. I don't know if I could really recommend getting them, at least not as high priority as some of the other items on here. And on top of that, they cost the commander armband, so gotta be a little careful about that, because you really want to use that on artifacts. Catalyst chests, I do buy this because the crests are a little bit easier to get than the commander armbands, so usually if I have extra, why not? I'll just go ahead and spend it on that. The next 2 items here, the equipment conversion chests, these are pretty good to get. Once again, if you're saving up on armbands, you probably don't want to buy it, but you can use this and get one with just a crest. I did show you guys what it was earlier, but I'm just gonna go over it one more time. So when you buy that, what you wind up getting is one of these, but it's gonna be random. It may be something you need, it may not be something you need, but because there's so many units in the game, you're likely to get something for something that you're going to use for someone eventually. It's good to stock those up for when that day comes, for when you have, like me, 50 just sitting there. You know, maybe you just start crafting some of them and trying to get that better gear. But if you don't understand what any of that means or whatever, just leave a question in the comment. I look at every comment, I heart them, and I do reply. So, and let's wrap it up here with the guild shop. So the Labyrinth Compass, up to you if you want to buy this. Available 1 time a week. I have the extra crest. Sure, why not? I've been trying to do, I do Hell Raid religiously every month, so getting that extra token so I can buy the actual Hell Raid ticket from the shop, this does help with that. These artifact charms, like we talked about before, the same as in Ancient Inheritance, also are unlimited, but they will run your crest out very quickly. So think carefully if you want to use that. Think very carefully about that. If we scroll down, you're going to see the items that I already did buy. Maybe I should have started with these because these are kind of important as well. But some of these are not necessary. Symbol of Unity is an artifact that I missed. This artifact is actually extremely strong as well. Also going to be one of those like must grab, you know, artifacts. Like almost everyone on their account is running Symbol of Unity on a unit. It gives hit chance and extra damage, which in a game like Epic 7, where you got all that RNG, you got all that dodge chance and hit debuff and all this stuff, I mean, hit chance is really important. And then in addition, you get that damage. The damage is always needed on a damage dealer, because what do damage dealers do? They deal damage. So very important artifact. Try to pick that up. It's the only artifact, if you notice, that I've maxed out from the shop. I'm not saying it's the most important one, but just know it's the only artifact that I've actually maxed out. Well, bought the full 6 copies. The Spirit Blooms are for upgrading your heroes. If you don't know what that is, I do have a video on promotion changes, so just go to my channel, check that one out. Yeah, go to my channel, check that one out. I don't want to go into too much to it because I know the video's getting long. So let's go ahead and wrap this up. Gold Transmit Stones. Now, these Gold Transmit Stones, you can buy 2 of them a month. They're also really expensive. I'm not going to lie, they're really expensive. 300 Commander Armbands. Really expensive. They give you a random chance out of ML5, which is probably like a 0.6% chance, and you need 6 of them. I don't necessarily recommend buying this until you have the artifacts. Artifacts first. Now, if you are, I use the same logic that I do with the connection pieces, right? You need 6 of these. Now, let's say you have 5, and you have some extra armbands. Why not come to the guild shop and buy one and get yourself a free a roll, possibly at ML5? Yeah, that's not a bad idea. But I don't really suggest buying it out consistently every month until, and note that, until you have everything else that you need from the shop. The only other thing that you get is Molagora and Mystic Metals. I don't know about the Mystic Metals. The price is a little bit high. However, I do want more ML5s, and one extra pull a week is worth it to me. It's up to you if that's worth it for you. Last and definitely not least, the weekly missions tab gives you opportunity to earn rewards based on doing guild quests per se. Like you can see, donating proof of courage tends to be a quest. You complete that. These are the rewards that you get. Eliminate monsters in an adventure, collecting weapons, battle along. Actually, I gotta claim all of these. Let me let me claim this. You get crests. You get the proof. Well, the guild gets the proof of courage. You're not getting it. The guild's getting the proof of courage, but you're getting the crest there. Anyway, come here. Definitely do this. It's pretty important. You also get some more commander armbands when you get farther up enough. You get some connections. This is gonna. I don't think these are the gold ones. I think these are the normal ones. And brave yeah, and then you also get gold transmits as well. And then last but not least, you also get a equipment conversion gem selection chest. So all in all, decent rewards down here for the weekly missions. Overall, for the guild shop, very amazing rewards. Some of the most OP rewards in the game, if you ask me, especially when you get to the artifacts in the member shop, and being able to get like an extra Molagora a week, or some artifact charms when you really need them. The gear from Ancient Inheritance is just absolutely busted, usually, right? So if you're thinking, if you had questions about the guild shop that I didn't answer, feel free to leave that in the comments. If you think that there's something that I may have forgotten or not been completely correct on, go ahead and also leave it in the comments as well. I'm very, very interested about your guys' feedback. Thank you guys for all the love and support. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the video. Peace.